Hello, and thank you for participating in our virtual open house on the city's project to implement pedestrian, bike, and vehicular improvements at the Chagrin-Lynnfield intersection. I'm Joyce Braverman. I'm the city's planning director, and on behalf of myself and Mayor Weiss, we welcome you to this virtual event. For those of you who are new to this conversation, this is an intersection that has been identified as challenging for pedestrians and bicyclists due to the heavy traffic volume and the lack of pedestrian infrastructure. As many of you know, a traffic signal was removed in 2005, and since that time, there have been traffic changes in the area, including the Van Aken District construction, as well as the reconfiguration of the Chagrin-Warrensville intersection. The city has frequently heard concerns about this intersection from nearby residents. And recognizing these concerns, the city recently applied for and received grant funding to make the intersection easier and safer to navigate for all users. We are currently in the design process for this project, which has included a number of public engagement opportunities. One of our priorities is to ensure that the chosen improvements reflect the needs of the surrounding residents and stakeholders, as you are the most frequent users of this intersection. Since mid-June, we have had on-site meetings with key stakeholders. We've had a virtual public meeting on July 29th that over 30 people attended. And we have had an online survey that has also been filled out by over 170 people. Many of you have participated in these opportunities, and thank you for your feedback. The feedback so far that we have received has been invaluable, and all this input is helping to inform the final design of the plan. This open house today is the final opportunity to formally provide public feedback on this project. We look forward to receiving your input on the draft plan, and there will be an opportunity at the end of this presentation to give us your feedback. I will now hand it over to our project consultants, Ann Clavora of AK Plans and Kevin Westbrook of GPD Group, for a brief presentation.
Thank you, Joyce. So, greetings to all of you for joining us in the virtual open house. We appreciate your participation. As Joyce said, my name is Ann Clavora, and I'm a planner with AK Plans, part of the consultant team that the city hired. This is the second of two virtual meetings about the project. The first meeting, as Joyce said, was held June 29th. That meeting was recorded and is posted on the city's website if you weren't able to attend live. I will explain how this virtual open house will work, briefly summarize some of the information that was presented at the first meeting, and then share with you the results of the community survey. And then project engineer Kevin Westbrooks will then present the draft plan for improvements at the intersection. So the virtual open house will be open, quote unquote, online between later this afternoon and Thursday, July 23rd. You simply visit the project website at www.shakeronline.com/Chagrin-Lynnfield-intersection to find all of the project materials, which includes the video of the first meeting, the community survey results, the video of this meeting, a draft plan document that you can print, and a final comment form to record any additional feedback that you wish to share. So this intersection is located approximately halfway between Shaker Town Center and the Van Aken District. And while Chagrin Boulevard is a major east-west road through Shaker Heights, running top to bottom on this slide, Lynnfield Road, running left to right on this slide, connects the neighborhoods north and south of Chagrin. This is important as it provides direct connections to RTA transit along the Blue Line and also the number 14 bus along Chagrin. The intersection is also located within a half-mile walk to important neighborhood institutions such as Lomond Elementary, St. Dominic's School and Church, Shaker Family Center, and St. Peter's Lutheran Church. As Joyce mentioned, a traffic signal was removed in 2005 as part of a as part of a citywide signal project. This is the current view looking north across Chagrin. As you can see, it's challenging for pedestrians and bicyclists and cars to navigate through the intersection due to the high volume of traffic, approximately 15,000 cars and trucks per day. So in mid-June, the city staff and the consultant team met with a few community stakeholders to learn about their experiences at the intersection firsthand. These conversations, together with feedback from residents over the years, led to the city's goals for the project, which are to improve safety, reduce vehicle crashes, reduce wait time when driving across Chagrin, preserving access and parking at the center of dialysis care, and then also beautifying the intersection. We evaluated a number of different methods to accomplish these goals and presented 3 of them for consideration at the virtual public meeting last month. I will briefly review them now, but if you would like additional, more detailed information, I encourage you to view the meeting video posted on the project webpage. Option 1 included more enhanced crosswalks and signage paired with wider curbs. An example is pictured on this slide. These changes improve visibility and reduce the Chagrin Boulevard crossing time for pedestrians, but do not necessarily improve conditions for bicyclists or vehicles. Option 2 was a pedestrian signal located in front of the CDC building in the middle of the block. Pedestrians or cyclists wishing to cross Chagrin would push a button to activate a series of flashing yellow lights that then turn solid red to stop vehicles, similar to a traditional traffic signal. This option improves safety more than option 1 and adds more flexibility for cyclists, but it is inconvenient and possibly confusing. It also does not necessarily improve vehicular safety or mobility. We also heard a lot of feedback about people not wanting to go out of the way to cross the street at this type of signal. The third option we discussed at the last meeting is a full traffic signal, like you see at many intersections around the city. This option improves safety for all modes, but it is the most expensive to implement. So a community survey was posted on the project website to gather feedback about those 3 options for improving the pedestrian and cyclist experience at the intersection. The survey was available between June 30th and July 6th. During that time, over 170 responses were recorded. I will summarize the results in this presentation, but you can read the full report by visiting the project website at www.shakeronline.com. So the Sussex and Lomond neighborhood residents provided the largest share of responses, approximately 2/3. Residents living on Winslow Road and Lynnfield Road also had a higher response rate, but they were responses from throughout the city. We also received responses from all age groups. They were fairly evenly distributed across age groups 25 and older. You can see 35 to 44 years in light blue was about 21%. 45 to 54 years in the darker blue was about 22%. And 65 and older in the yellow was just over 20%. So several different questions in the survey addressed how people travel through the intersection and how they feel while doing so. A lot of people use multiple modes of travel, by car and by bike, or walking and biking, or all of the above. And about 16% of the people that responded completely avoid the intersection. "76% of respondents either use the intersection and find it intimidating or scary, or avoid the intersection altogether. And this holds true whether they are on foot, on bike, or in a car. As a result, about 40% forbid their children from using this intersection, or at least ask them to find another route. This slide reflects how respondents feel about different scenarios. Above the blue line are images of the 3 options I reviewed earlier. Option 1 was the enhanced crosswalks, shown in the blue color in the graphs below. Option 2 was the pedestrian signal, shown in dark orange in the graphs below. And then option 3 was the full signal, shown in light orange in the graphs. So scenario 1, shown below the blue line, asks the question, I would feel safe walking or biking across Chagrin Boulevard if this solution were implemented. The second scenario in the middle graph was I would likely walk or bike more through this intersection if this solution were implemented. And scenario 3 was I would feel confident letting my kids walk or bike across Chagrin Boulevard if this solution were implemented. All 3 graphs clearly reveal that the full traffic signal would provide the greatest sense of safety for respondents and their kids across the 3 scenarios. And this is reflected in the yellow color. The final survey question responses reveal that just over 71% do prefer the traffic signal solution. There was lesser support, about 21%, for the pedestrian signal, with some comments about the inconvenience of a mid-block location. 52 people provided additional feedback in the comment box, and those open-ended comments were taken into consideration as we developed the final scenario as well. So now I will turn this over to Kevin Westbrooks to present the draft plan of recommended improvements. Kevin?
So you should be seeing now is a graphic plan of the intersection. This is an aerial view. North is to the top. So Chagrin Boulevard is going left to right on your screen, and Lynnfield is going up and down with the CDC building on the bottom left corner, just to get some frame of reference. The plan, obviously, again, is for a traffic signal, full traffic signal with enhanced pedestrian crosswalks. Included in the plan, I'll point out a few items here. Each corner will have either a combination of existing and new curb ramps, so that the existing ones can still be used, but we will add crosswalks, go north and south across the intersection. Also on those corners will be pedestrian signal heads and push buttons for each direction, so that all 4 directions can push a button to get across the road. Those pedestrian signal heads will be of the countdown type, which is where it shows the amount of time you have left to cross the street. And like I said, the crosswalks themselves will be the ladder style. So these will be much more visible to a driver approaching the intersection to see those crosswalks. The signals themselves, which are the small arrows on the mast arm poles, there'll be 2 heads for each direction, like you would typically see at any other intersection, but all legs will be controlled. And the red little cameras is what that's showing. Those will be used for vehicle detection, and vehicles include both bicycles and cars and trucks. The bicyclist will be able to pull up to this intersection. If it's red, the cameras will actually be able to see the bicyclist, know that they're there, and change the signal for them, even if there's not a vehicle present. Those are the basic elements of it. There's still a little bit of details to be worked out, but this would provide improved access for pedestrians, obviously, for bicyclists. We thought about trying to put push buttons for the bicyclists, but we decided to use the video cameras. And obviously for drivers. So just to summarize the signal plan itself, there will be a full functioning signal with the enhanced crosswalks and new curb ramps, so that you've got a full complement of crosswalks and curb ramps for all directions. Push buttons and pedestrian heads with the countdown types for increased visibility. Video camera detection for bicyclists and vehicles. And what I didn't mention before is that this will be integrated into the Chagrin Boulevard signal system. So the signals along Chagrin in this area are coordinated. This signal we brought into that system, tied in, so we'll be able to communicate with the other signals on this corridor. The last thing we want to do is make traffic flow worse. Obviously, cars will be stopping here that normally don't on Chagrin Boulevard, but we feel that we can time the signals in such a way that we're not causing any undue delay, and make the signals work together so that you're not stopping at all of them. And that summarizes the traffic signal. I'll turn it back over to you, Ann.
Great, thanks, Kevin. So we want to hear your final thoughts or comments on the draft plan. So we will be making a 2-question comment form available on the website through July 23rd. So again, you visit that project website at www.chagrin.com/Chagrin-Lynnfield-intersection and record your feedback on that form. And as far as next steps, this virtual open house will remain open from this afternoon through July 23rd. That's when the comment form will close. The project will then move into the final engineering. As Kevin said, we will work out all the remaining details based on your comments. The final engineering plans will go out for bid for construction. And then the plan is to construct the improvements later this fall. So in conclusion, I'd like to say thank you all for participating on behalf of the entire project team. We all appreciate your time and feedback on this project. Thank you.